Hey guys, happy Friday. We are with the Gena Hampton radio show with Tashunda Scott. How are you, Tashunda?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. We are here today. We are a little behind. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. It has been an incredible week. Very, very, very busy. You been busy?
Absolutely. Got
Yeah.
a lot going on today.
A lot going on. We have royalty in the studio today. I am blessed. Don't be shy.
I feel blessed to be here
That's
too.
that's
Anyway,
great. That's
it's all
great.
right.
That's great. I want to say thank you so much to Brittany, our technical director. Say hello, Brittany.
Hello, everyone.
Yes. We have Nigeria in the building. Yoruba man in the building. Yes, yes, yes. We are proud. We are so proud. Everyone, this is is this the first Friday of the month?
This is the second Friday.
Second Friday of the month, and what you do, everyone who tunes in knows that we are all about transformation 2019 and bettering yourselves and taking you to the next level. Gena Hampton Radio Show is very, very, very adamant about having guests on the show who have a story to tell and who can take you to the next level and get you where you need to go. I'm just really happy that you're here.
I'm very excited.
Y'all,
to
do
be
y'all
here.
hear his voice?
I'm excited to be here, and I feel very good.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you. We have Chief Ambassador Ola Dotun. Right, Ola Dotun.
Ola Dotun
Ola
Taylor.
Dotun Taylor.
Yes, that's my name.
Okay, great, great, great.
And I must say that I've listened to the show before in Nigeria, and I like it.
Thank
Nice.
I think
you.
you guys are doing very well. Yes.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. I am impressed.
Right
Me
about
too.
now, people are sleeping. It's about 1 o'clock, midnight.
Oh, okay.
But I stayed up that day and I listened, and I feel, oh, great, nice thing you're doing.
Right,
Oh,
right.
nice. We appreciate that.
Right, all the way in Nigeria, huh?
Yeah, listen.
That's great.
Nice.
Our show is broadcast around the world, so it's great to hear when we do have our listeners tell us that they are listening, like personally listening. I feel good about that.
Yeah,
I feel really
absolutely.
good about
I'm
that.
confident that people are listening in Brazil right now.
Really?
Yeah, sure. I'm very confident some Brazilians are listening.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. Hey, hey. Say hi to Brazil.
Hey, Brazil.
Say hi to Brazil. We're gonna jump right into everything because we are a little behind, so we're gonna just jump right into it, okay? All right. So Tashonda,
So, tell us about you.
Well, like you already said, my name is Oladoton Alfred Taylor. The Alfred there, of course, we all answer Western names in Africa somehow. And I am a Yoruba culture ambassador, which means I represent the Yoruba nation
Okay.
around the world. And I'm a filmmaker. I shoot movies in Africa, Lagos, Nigeria. That's where I'm from. And,
From where?
Lagos, Nigeria. That's where I live.
Okay.
You know, and I'm a film director and a radio presenter,
Okay.
and I do voiceovers. I put voices on adverts and
Okay.
some commercials. Yeah, that's what I do, and
Oh, nice.
yeah, that's about me.
Okay. All right. So I can tell you do voiceovers. I mean, you got a
Right.
great voice. You know,
Great.
you hear
Awesome
it?
voice.
You hear
Awesome
it?
voice. Yeah.
Can you tell us exactly what is a cultural ambassador?
All right. Yeah, we have a Nigerian ambassador to the United States. He represents Nigeria here generally. So, but I represent culture that's going around the world and letting people know what our culture is, where we're from, who we are, the intricacies of the things that separate us from other people around the world,
Just a little bit.
and basically our clothing, our food, our music, our dance, everything that you can put all under culture.
Okay.
And that's what I represent. And beyond that, we believe that Africa and Yoruba people has been greatly misrepresented around
Yeah.
the world. So it is the need for an upwardly mobile, educated young African
Yeah.
who can relate with people in the language they understand and still be able to dispense exactly the truth about who we are.
Right.
So that's what I'm a culture ambassador, and we try as much as possible to represent the culture properly by the way we dress, You know, when you talk about African culture, people expect the primordial things as it were, as it used to be.
Yeah.
You know, naked people jumping on trees and the rest. I think every culture in the world has had its own point of on civilization. You know, and but civilization is a global thing, so it's also cutted into the Yoruba people.
Right.
So there is that contemporary Yoruba man, and that is the kind of person I try to represent.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we do around the world.
And thinking about clothing, tell us about your headwear and your staff.
Oh, all right. Yes. It's when you see a general, you see him with a star. When you see a policeman, you see him with a badge.
Right.
So when you see me, I have a crown. That's,
Right.
we call it a crown in Africa, and it's made of beads and coral. And it when if I were in Nigeria, you're walking on the streets, people kind of bow for you. They say, "Ah, here he comes, the chief." So
Wow.
Okay.
it's an ensemble that represents who I am. So this is a crown, this is staff, like you rightly said, and
Yeah.
right on it, it is written the designation of what I do.
Right.
So in my language here, we have the Ashojuasha Ile Odua. We'll get to who Odua is. Odua is like the progenitor of all Yoruba people.
Okay.
You know, so this is the representative of the land of Odudua.
Okay.
So, and the land of Odudua is the Yoruba nation, which cuts across the Yoruba land in Nigeria to Benin Republic, which is a different country on its
Yeah.
own, all the way onto Ghana, Togo, Brazil, Trinidad and Tobago, Cuba, and a lot more other parts of the world.
Yeah.
So they all believe that they are descendants of Odudua,
Okay.
and I represent his culture and propagates the trueness of what it stands for.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
And so,
Amazing.
but you are directly the representative of the Oni of Ife.
Yes, the Oni of Ife is the direct representative of Odudua, who is like the progenitor of the Yoruba people. If I could make an inference, the Pope is the representative of Christ.
Right.
So Odudua is the father of all Yoruba people. So the Oni of Ife, the Adimula Gbogbo Yoruba, that's what it's called. That's the head of all the Yoruba nation around the world. So I represent him,
Okay.
yes, around the world. So I'm his
Amazing.
ambassador. Yes.
Wow. And
Amazing.
he's one of the most popular kings, right?
He's one of the most popular kings in Africa.
Right.
He's representing a race that's got over 500 million people in the world.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So
Wow.
that's-
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
And you travel around the world representing him.
Oh yes, about this time last year we were in Brazil, and you'll be shocked the way they were singing Yoruba songs. I know that it won't be surprising to say that they worship all the Yoruba deities in Brazil, in Cuba, in Jamaica, in Venezuela. You know, so about this time last year, I was actually in Brazil, and we went to the Senate in Brazil. The Oni was at the Senate, and he presented a paper to encourage the Brazilian government to adopt the Yoruba language as an official language, since they have about over 100 million people who are of Yoruba descent in Brazil. That's telling you that there are more people of Yoruba descent in Brazil than even in Nigeria, where I come from.
Wow.
You know, yes. So
See, we would have never known that. They don't
Right.
talk about that.
yeah,
You know, it's just all Brazilians.
we
That's
presented the
what you
paper, and it was accepted easily. And today I can tell you that the Yoruba language is an official language in Brazil. Yes, please.
think. Okay. All right.
Nice.
I mean, yeah,
It's exciting.
Right.
I'm like all tuned in.
Right,
because
like-
I'm learning a lot.
right. And you know, we don't learn this in basic school
Right.
here.
Right.
Our history, we don't learn that. We learn, well, in Texas, they learn Texas history. They
Yeah.
don't learn. What is the history that we learn in the Midwest? World history.
Yeah, world history.
World history, but
Yeah.
here they learn Texas history.
Yeah.
So, of course, they're not going to talk about African, and you know, they talk about slavery. That's it. You
Right.
know,
See,
But that's-
even in Nigeria, they don't talk about that too much in education, because what we adopted is the Western education.
Yeah.
And the Western education wants to tell you the story of the West.
Yeah.
You know, and basically that's
Right.
I don't fault that, but it's just there is alternative education. So if you want to know something, then you had better go seek for it.
Right,
You know,
right.
and part of what we do, what I do as a Yoruba culture ambassador is to agitate that these kind of things we talk about can be appreciated by Western education and embedded into it so that people can know where they're from rather than just knowing how they were brought here.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
what are some sites or where would we go to get that type of information?
A lot of travel. Well,
Just on a basic level.
no, it's all right. No, ain't nothing basic. You have to go to the
Yeah.
center. If you're a Christian and you want to know about Christ, you go to Israel.
Right.
Everybody goes to Jerusalem for. So there is a place we call the Ileife. Ileife is actually believed to be the cradle of the whole world, but that's for a later argument.
Yeah.
No, but there ain't no later argument. I think Western education right now accepts that the oldest fossil, the oldest human bone, is
Right.
found in West Africa, somewhere called
Right.
Chad.
Yeah.
So nobody's arguing anymore that it all didn't start from Africa. It all started from Africa. So there is a place called the Ileife. Ileife is the cradle of all mankind. It is the beginning of the Yoruba race, let me say. So that's where you have all the artifacts, you have
Okay.
the truth, you have the facts of what you're seeking. And I'll first of all tell you that most of these things are not fetish, they're not voodoo.
Right.
They're just they're historical relics
Yeah.
that people would not just tell you they exist. You can see it. For instance, if you believe or think that all the rubber, well, anyway, if you there's a place in the Ife where you find all the relics. So maybe I'll talk about that much more after
Okay.
now. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So-
I mean, I'm all into it. Like,
I just want to know like a site, so we can't travel there. Just give us a site that
Oh,
we
like-
can go to
oh,
pull
like-
some
like-
basic education.
Oh, Ife, W like website.
Yeah, website.
Oh, there are a lot of them.
One that you may use.
Just hold on. Maybe I'll remember one right now, and
Okay.
I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Couple of them come into my mind.
Okay.
all right, guys.
Well, thank you.
We're going to take a quick break, quick 2 minutes, and we will be right back.
Thank you.
What's going on?
Especially me. I'm like, what?
You're right. But guys, we were before the break. We were trying to find a website for you all to get information on the Yoruba culture, and they did find one. Tashonda, what's the website?
It's actually on Britannica.com, but I'm going to have Brittany actually post it to the site so you all can see it, because I can't pronounce it, and I don't want to, like, say something wrong.
Ileife Nigeria and Britannica.com.
Yeah.
Ileife. Yeah,
Nigeria.
Ileife, Nigeria.
Yeah.
Ileife is the center. That's where all Yorubas all came out of.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, look, it talks about just the culture and some basic information. Obviously, you're going to always get, like, a lot of other stuff that comes up, talks about tourism and, things like that. And so it's a good start.
Right. So we're going to start from the beginning because a lot of people don't know. So when they say, when you ask someone, where are you from? And they say, I'm African, right? So there are how many countries in the continent? Because Africa is a continent, right?
Yeah.
And how many countries are in Africa? Do you know?
We have way over 30.
Okay, 30 countries. Now you're from Nigeria. So how many parts of Nigeria are there?
Even in Nigeria, we have about 250 different kinds of dialects.
Okay.
I mean, I'm speaking my language, and you can't understand me. Yeah, so there are about 250 of those in Nigeria.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
How
so
many
Yoruba is just about 250 different kind of languages. Yeah, and Yoruba is just one of them, but it's one of the largest of them.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
when you say you're Yoruba, that is your tribe.
Yes,
correct?
that's my tribe, yes.
Okay, and so the biggest tribes in Nigeria are Yoruba and
The Hausa people.
the Hausa
Then the
people.
Igbo people.
Okay, so it's
With
those
due
three,
respect to
right?
other tribes, because we don't like to do that.
Yes.
But the largest of the Hausa, Igbo, and the Yorubas in Nigeria. But now the Yorubas are not only in Nigeria, like I said. If you travel, like the music we just played right now is a Yoruba music, but it's from Benin Republic, a different country entirely from Nigeria.
Right. Just trying to educate some people
You know,
because people don't know.
when I meet people here, they say, "Where are you from?" I say, "Africa." You say, "You got an African brother down there. Why didn't you go speak with him?" And I'm thinking, he could be from Kenya. He probably wouldn't even understand what I'm saying.
Right, right. That's why I said people don't realize that it's so many different countries in Africa. They
Yeah.
believe that Africa is a country. Africa is not a country. Africa
When I'm
is
going
a
back home,
continent.
they say, "You're going back to Africa?" I say, "I'm going back to Nigeria."
Right, right.
Yeah.
So you say how many Nigerians? About 500 million? You said?
No,
I'm sorry. How many Yoruba?
In the whole world, about over 500 million people. If
Okay.
we're talking about the ones in Brazil, Cuba, Venezuela, yeah, over 500 million of them.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but
That's a lot.
Nigeria in itself has a population of about 200 million people.
Okay.
Makes it the 7th largest nation in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's the 7th largest nation in the world.
Wow. So you are a chief in the tribe, the Yoruba tribe, right?
Yeah,
I'm
I'm a
trying to
chief.
break all this down.
I'm a chief in the Yoruba tribe. Yes.
Right. And you are the representative to one of the largest kings in Nigeria.
Yes, one of the kings that is over the largest
Largest
tribe.
tribe. Okay.
yeah, in Africa.
All right. We getting it, y'all. You getting it?
So your position is like that the highest that you can go, and then king?
No, I'm not a king.
Right. I'm saying your position, it's you and then the king. It would be like the governor and then the president. You know what I mean?
No, more like the president's advisor.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
More like that.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
So you have direct access to the Oni of Ife.
Oh, we travel together most of the time. We go places together. Yes, I do have direct access.
Okay.
And when we talk about the Oni of Ife, the Oni in himself is more like a deity. But the person who is the Oni today is a young person. He's educated. He's a chartered accountant. You know, and he's quite young. If he walks in here, you've probably seen someone like me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is pretty young. He is. He's
It's
quite
spelled
young.
it's spelled ONIOF, which is off. Then Ife is IFE.
Right.
I mean, if people put his name on Google right now, you'll be seeing a very tall, good-looking young man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, look,
I'm
she's
at the
look.
Google.
You starting to look at her fingers moving fast. Well, look, we need to take a trip to Nigeria.
Oh, I'm ready.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful. I would
Yes.
like to have both of you in Nigeria. Like I said before you came, I would like to put you on radio like this.
Yes,
Oh,
I
that'd
would
be
love that.
amazing.
I
That'd
would
be
love
great.
that. I would
We
love
have to
that.
take our engineer with us.
Oh, why not?
We have to take her with
In
the
Nigeria,
baby.
we call that for hearing.
Yeah.
Now, we said it when she's there, then she's got to be part of it.
Yeah,
Yep, there you go.
definitely, definitely.
There you
Yes,
go.
sadly.
So, how long have you been a chief?
All right. I was coronated just on March the 30th this year. I was
Okay.
coronated as a chief.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Yes, but I have been the advisor, I've been the ambassador to the Oni of Ife since January 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are steps. I was first made an ambassador, then a chief with
Okay.
him, yes, in Ile-Ife.
Oh
Okay.
wow.
Nice.
All right. So what does so you're you were coronated, right? Is that coronation, right?
Coronation, yes.
Coronation. Okay. Look this one over here trying to tell me. Look.
Well, that is a pretty American word, so.
Coronate. Look, last night we were out and we were asking people like, how do you say it? How do you say it properly before we get here? So, the coronation. Look, I just lost my train of thought. So, you had your coronation, and like Tashonda asked you, this is the step. This is the highest step as far as not becoming a king. You just
Oh, okay. Let me
Advisor.
make this clear. That I've been made a chief doesn't mean that I would ever become a king.
Right.
It's not something you graduate into like education school. In Nigeria, in Yoruba land, you become a king because you have been picked by Ifa. Now, Ifa is a corpus. It's a kind of system of. It's a system of education in itself, but
Right.
actually very spiritual. So you get selected to be a king by Ifa, and it is also by hereditary. Your family must be from within the line of those who become kings for
Yeah,
you to become a
bloodline,
king.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's in the bloodline.
So, how did you meet the king?
Oh, interesting. I think it's divine.
Yeah.
It is all about my voice. I think you put your voice out here, people are listening to you. You don't know who. You know, it's just like sitting here someday and someone comes and to say they want you from the White House.
Yeah.
You say why? Because you sound great. Yeah, so it's something like that. He's heard me do a couple of stuff, and all my life, why everybody wanted to be medical doctors and engineers, I'd chosen to. I studied. I have a BA in history. You know, African traditional history. So I have taken a lot
Nice.
of interest in everything traditional, and he probably has been watching as well while we were all growing up, and he thinks, okay, this young man that has been, the tenacity has been there to want to
Right.
know the African stuff from very contemporary perspective, should work with me. And first of all, before I was made ambassador, what he did was to call me and say, you would be the voice of the House of Odudua.
Okay.
So which means you will do my documentaries, you would voice my scripts and things I want to say to people, you know. So for instance, when he was coming to the White House to present a paper, we read the whole of the script into, we recorded the script, what he wanted to say. So what he did was when he got there, he just held his staff and my voice was playing and telling people what he wants to say. Then afterwards he explains to them what it is that he means. So basically,
Nice.
it was first the voice of the Odudua, then I became an ambassador, then a chief.
It was almost like an internship. So you
Exactly.
did an internship and showcased your skills, and then moved on to becoming an ambassador. Because they have to do their research too. They have to make sure you're the right person for the job.
I call him the rabbi.
Yeah, yeah.
The rabbi is the teacher.
Yeah.
After I became the voice of Odudua, an ambassador, he would sit down with me for like 4 or 5 hours on a regular basis,
Right.
and he's telling me what he wants me to do, how he wants me to do it, how you should walk, how you should look at people,
Job
how you should
coaching.
hold yourself, exactly, all of that.
He was
So
giving
he's
you
a
all
rabbi.
those employability skills.
Yes.
I love it.
Look what you said.
I'm-
You look, that's her big thing.
I'm
That
all
is
about
her big thing.
employability skills, how to upgrade people's skills, and
That's
so it sounds
it.
like
I'm
that's
going to
what
be
he did.
sitting here representing him. I'd better not say what I'm not supposed to
Absolutely.
say.
That's correct.
I'm
That's
a kind of
correct.
coach
Absolutely.
appropriate.
At all
That's correct.
times.
Yes.
at all times. We talk about that constantly on the show. Is your brand? You are a brand. For your place of work, your family. Everything in life. You're always a brand, and so no matter where you are, whether it's on the show or you're out in public, you are still part of the brand.
Exactly.
So yeah, absolutely, we get that. That's amazing, though.
Yes, it is. You guys, we're going to take a quick break. We will be right back. Thank you. Stand by. Hey guys, we are back with the Gena Hampton radio show with Tashonda Scott, and we have Chief Taylor in the studio with us this evening, this great Friday evening. He has given us some wonderful cultural insight of the Yoruba culture. The Yoruba culture, and we are learning some things from him off the air. So, trying to get a little personal here, trying to find out what kind of American food he likes to eat.
Right.
What do you like to eat?
I just said it.
He like fried chicken with lemon pepper and fries. So he just showed us his hood side.
That's just what I would have.
Right, little Dallas.
Anytime.
It's okay.
Fries and fried chicken is good.
Okay. Fried.
Okay.
What about Yoruba food? What's your favorite?
Oh, pounded yam and egusi soup.
Oh.
Not jollof rice. I know there's so much. Jollof rice is not even. Jollof
So
rice
Brittany
is
said,
not.
Jollof.
It's not Yoruba food.
Yeah.
What is it?
Jollof rice it's a contemporary African mix. It's a contemporary African mix. They eat it in Ghana. They eat it in Senegal. I think the word jollof rice is actually from the Wolof people of Senegal. Actually, it's a different tribe on its own.
Okay.
And they eat a lot of rice. Over time, because people couldn't say Wolof, they said jollof. And if you ask a Ghanaian, it would say jollof, and a Nigerian would say jollof. You know, so.
Okay.
But pounded yam and egusi soup, and there's a difference between poundo yam and pounded yam.
Really?
Because I thought you
Yeah,
said pounded.
He did.
Pounded.
Pounded yam, yeah.
Okay.
Pounded yam. It's not poundo yam. Poundo yam is the newer version when you make it into flour, and I think they're selling some of the stores here. You know, then you make a paste of it. But pounded yam is you cook yam, you put it in the mortar and get a pestle, and you pound it.
Okay.
Typically,
Gotcha.
you know, to get the feel of what you want. That's pounded yam, and that's what I love.
Okay. All right.
I
So
have
where
no idea
where
what
do
that
you
dish is, but all right. I'm gonna
where
take
do
your
you
word
get
for
that dish here? I mean, have you had it here other than at home?
I cook.
Oh, okay.
I cook. But,
All right.
yeah, there are a lot of African restaurants here. So I go to the African restaurants and I ask for it. I get it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
sure.
right. So I'm gonna try it because I do go to African restaurants. I'm gonna
I
try
don't
it.
want to mention any African restaurant. I might be advertising, but there are a couple of them around Dallas.
What's your
Yeah.
favorite one? You can mention it.
I think I've been to Mama B. I
Oh,
don't really know
okay.
her, but I've been to Mama B, and it's not bad. I don't know exactly where it is.
I
but
know. Mama B's is off of it's off of Mayfield and 360.
Her amala is not bad.
Yes. Okay. Mama B's, big old plug for Mama B's there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. So I want to go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsors this evening. I almost forgot. We have Dr. Bain of Revive Injury and Rehab. He is our chiropractor of the show. If you have been in an auto accident or any injury and you are feeling pain, Dr. Bain can definitely take care of you. He treats the joints, especially those of the spinal column. Visit www.revivemyspine.com or call 817-900-2851. Once again, call Dr. Bain from Revive Injury and Rehab. He is our show chiropractor. And I am still, and I will remain, marketing the magazine, the Black Pages International. I don't have the magazine with me today. The new magazine was just released today for the quarter, and I'm so excited, guys. You need to pick it up. Go to www.blackpagesinternational.com. I am featured in the magazine.
Oh,
Whoop,
yeah.
whoop, 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 whoop. I'm
cool.
featured in the magazine, and I am really excited about that. If you all have a small business, or you know someone who has opened a business and needs marketing, please give Eugene a call. He is the publisher. He is actually also the owner of the magazine, 773-407-1470. This magazine is released out of Chicago. However, it is the Black Pages International. So it is an international magazine. I will be bringing that magazine to Texas, and we will be having hundreds and hundreds of businesses out of Texas in that magazine. So if you all want to get featured in that magazine, give me a call or go ahead and shoot me a quick email, GenaHamptonRadio@gmail.com. or go ahead and get in my inbox. You cannot miss this. Check out the website, www.blackpagesinternational.com,
Nice.
and pick it up because I'm there. So really excited about that. But let's get back to you, Chief. So when you're in Nigeria, right, and people see you, they bow, like they know you.
Well,
Don't be humble. Just say it.
Well, yes, people.
Okay.
That's what you're called a chief. So
Mm-hmm.
people genuflect. They respect you for it. People who are younger than you, and people who understand the culture and might want to do that. But yeah, well, that's just it.
Right.
Okay. So this is a deal. You know, we're Americans, and we don't, especially like royal family. All we see is Prince William and Princess Diana and the Queen. You know, that's all we know. We don't know what.
But I really don't know them.
I mean, right? We don't know. So I think it's very fascinating.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating.
You know, recently there's been this argument around in Nigeria that even the culture of genuflecting is being eroded in Nigeria amongst the Yoruba people, and no, I don't think it's in itself that's what is the essence of culture.
Right.
But I do know very well that the culture of bowing and genuflection is a universal thing.
Right.
I know that people don't stand over the head of Queen of England when they talk to her. You have to bow, and women actually go on their knees.
Right.
If you go on the internet right now and Google Theresa May greeting the Queen, you will see that the Prime Minister of Great Britain was on her knees when she was greeting the Queen of England.
Right.
So which means it must be embedded somewhere very deep in their culture. If you don't find people doing it on the street, it doesn't mean that they have never done it before at one
Right.
time.
Right.
You know, so that's
You do it in order to you become educated. I'm sure she had to be educated on how to properly greet the
the
Queen.
culture, because she represents the people. So
Exactly.
she must go deep into what the culture is like.
Right.
And there is a culture around all over the world.
Right,
Everywhere
absolutely.
people have things to do. For instance, if you get married in England, before you go into your husband's house, they pull out your socks and put the vest that you drink the flute you drink your wine from, and put in your socks, and you have to break it before you walk into your husband's house. You know, so that people say in Nigeria that do you want to have the traditional wedding or the white wedding? But there is what you call the white wedding is actually the traditional wedding of the British.
Right.
So it is just traditional wedding anyway.
Right.
Right.
You know, so it's there's a traditional culture to everybody. That's the truth.
What are the misconceptions out there about Nigerian African men, women, families? Like, what do you see? Like, people ask you that are American might say, "Why do Africans do this?" Or "Why do?" And they really believe this. What's the most popular
I
thing?
walked into a store. I wanted to buy something, and I spoke to the guy, and he said, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Lagos, Nigeria." And he said, "You speak English?" I said, "Yes, I speak English." He
Yeah.
said, "Where did you learn it?" I said, "I learned it in Nigeria.
Right.
I have a university degree." He said, "Really? There are universities there?" I said, "Sure, there had better be."
God.
You know.
What store was that?
Yes, yeah, well, so of course,
But-
and it's a major misconception. A lot of people think that Nigeria and Africa and Yoruba land is all about safari. They think that you drive on the streets and see elephants and monkeys jumping on trees. And I tell you that the only places you can find that are in the game reserves. And even the game reserves are being protected right now because they are being eroded. So you
Right.
probably wouldn't even find these things anymore.
Right.
So what you would find at the malls and the trains and the airports and the universities, I think we have too many universities actually, a
Really?
whole lot of them. Private universities everywhere. You know, and we have about 30 states in Nigeria. Every state has got at least like four universities. So we got more than like 120 universities. More than that actually in Nigeria.
So right now you're a chief, and right now you're still doing films, and you're still doing radio. You're
Yes,
still
certainly.
doing voiceovers, correct?
Yes, certainly.
All right. When did you know that you wanted to do voiceovers?
Okay. All my life, I have known I wanted to work in the cultural department. I've been drawn to everything of Yoruba culture. So, first of all, let me say that if I say I'm a filmmaker, if you go online and check Dotun Taylor on YouTube, you would find that most of the films and the things I have touched had to do with the Yoruba nation, the Yoruba culture. If you find me doing radio, I am probably talking the African history on radio. And if you find me write a book or poem, it has to be about the Yoruba people and the culture of Africa. So, but when did I know I wanted to do voiceover? I watched a film in 1985 and I heard James Earl Jones, and I said to myself, I am going to sound like him when I grow up. So truly, I believe that the voice of a man is a destination.
Yeah.
Something you consciously or unconsciously choose the way you want to sound. You pick the comfortable tone for yourself and you stay there forever. So I think somehow I morphed into wanting to sound the way I sound right now since I knew in 1985. So I knew I wanted to do voice and film. My dad was a TV broadcaster
Okay.
and a producer for TV. So
Nice.
I think naturally I just wanted to be what daddy was. And
Right.
it schooled me, trained me. I was a great big apprentice under the man called John Taylor. And that way, with the kind of things that is inside me and I want to talk about, I know that I need a medium of expression. So I
Right.
chose film, radio, and writing.
Right.
So if you don't let me make a movie, I'll say it on radio. If you don't let me say it on radio, I'll write it into a book.
There you go.
So that's just, I find a convenient way to say what I need to say.
So you're gonna deliver the message.
I
Either
just
way,
got,
it's
I got a
basically what you
message
just
I have
said.
to deliver, exactly.
Right.
Let me hear your James Earl Jones.
You just heard it.
No, I want to hear like a whole, a sentence, a whole.
I am King Jafar Jafar, ruler of Zamunda. I am looking for my son Akim.
Nice.
That's from Coming to America.
We know. Yeah, anything
That-
Joffy Joe.
Everybody knows that movie.
Yes, we know. Yes.
And I think he did, this is CNN.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
I think at some point he did that and he got paid a lot of money. So growing up, I thought that, okay, fine, someday I'm going to just say, this is CNN.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe Ted Turner is hearing this right now. If
Yeah.
it's not, somebody tell him. Some African man wants to say the African version of this is CNN.
wow. That sounds really good.
Nice. That was good.
Yeah, that sounds
I'm
really
impressed.
good.
I have a basic question though. How was it the first time somebody bowed after you got coronated?
I turned around, I looked away, I didn't know what
You're
was happening.
bashful?
And my king had to tell me, come on, slow down, it's going to happen a lot. I thought I told you about this. And when I was in Brazil last year, I would dress up in my African regalia and step down from my hotel. It's eyebrow area, nice hotel, Ibis hotel, and I come out with my partner, Moronoti Ashabi. There are two of us who are ambassadors, cultural ambassadors. She's in Nigeria at the moment doing some other stuff. And we step out on the street and people come on their knees and the bow and they say, African people, message people, please pray for us, pray for us. And I'm thinking, I've not come here to pray for nobody. I probably need to be prayed for. Well, anyway. So they get on their knees and they want to take photos and it took a while for me to get used to
Yeah.
that.
So it was like overwhelming at first. It's kind of an overwhelming feeling.
The moment they put the crown on my head, my friends, they didn't know how to talk to me. They didn't know. They didn't know how to address me.
I'm sure.
I had to tell them, come out of it. It's
me.
Same person,
Right,
right?
right,
Same
right.
person.
So, yeah, that's it.
Well, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Because the crown was put there by one of the most respected king in Africa.
Absolutely.
So they attached that honor from him, pass it down straight away. People hear you represent the Oni of Ife and they say, oh, Kabiesi. And I say, I'm not the king. But they
Right.
say, you represent him.
Right, but that's a level of respect. So
Yeah,
that's
it-
nice.
it
For the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For the
is.
rest of
For
your
the
life.
Yes, exactly.
For the rest of your life. You all, we're going to take a quick break, 2 minutes, and we will be back shortly.
So you can't ever get out of this position?
Hey guys, we are back with the Gena Hampton show with Tashunda Scott. We have our cultural ambassador from Lagos, Nigeria here.
Eshe Lopo Lopo.
Okay,
I
say it
just say
again.
thank you very much.
Okay, Eshe.
Eshe Lopo Lopo.
Okay, Eshe.
Oh,
Eshe.
I'm not gonna try it.
Eshe is different from Ashe. Ashe is amen.
Okay.
Okay.
Eshe is thank you.
And then, say it again. Loco, loco.
Lopo Lopo.
Okay,
Lopo.
loco.
That's kind of like a buttress of it.
Because
Like,
you just said
very
crazy,
much.
crazy.
Oh,
Loco in Spanish.
Oh, but I know how to say Eshe. So.
Okay.
What
I
you said is very dirty.
Oh,
Really,
sorry.
Gena?
Sorry.
Okay.
Look,
Gotta
FCC
watch
gonna
your
catch you.
tongue.
It's in the Yoruba language, so anyway, it's alright.
Okay.
We'll talk about what that means after the show.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's alright.
Gotta watch yourself.
That's right. Watch it. So, okay, Chief, what are your current projects now?
At the moment, we're working on a film, two films actually. One with the House of Odudua, that's Kabiesi Oni of Ife. He's on his way to the United States right now, and we're doing something we call the rebirth and the rename.
Okay.
The rename of Black Americans, people who want to take up African names, first and last name.
Okay.
And we have about 300 of them already that we're going to be christening, if that's what is okay. So he's on his way here, and we do art exhibitions. A lot of art exhibitions. We're going to be exhibiting some of the African arts,
Okay.
Ileife art actually, and these arts are very unique because, you know, when they teach in Western education, who discovered bronze, they'll put some Western name, and they say who discovered gold and where did they discover this and that. But when the colonial people came to Africa, which of course the slave masters came first of all, they found gold and bronze carvings, which they took away. A lot of them are in the British Museum and the New York Museum and museums around the world, and these things were not thought to those black people. They found them to have made them thousands of years before they found them, and if they didn't find these things beautiful and worthy, they wouldn't have been stolen. You know, so which means somebody somewhere before the Westerners came had understood the technology of excavation. They have gone way deep into the earth, and they have brought out these gems, and they brought out all these things, and they have even understood the technology of separating iron from other
Metal,
things.
yeah.
You know, so and a lot of these arts still exist. Some of them are still in Ife. So once in a while, we bring them out and we show them to the world so that your children can see and know that our people had these things long before they say they were discovered. You know, we bring out artworks that have had maps of a lot of parts of the world that predates the time that they said Columbus came here. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So we probably already knew that these parts of the world existed.
Right.
And I think education, Western education, is beginning to accept this gradually because the facts are coming on the streets, and you can see it. There are physical identities for this stuff. So what we're doing right now is a whole lot of renaissance, trying to let people know where they're from, and we're also adapting the new technology of film.
Okay.
So we're doing a movie right now we call Festac 77, and it's about a Black African Arts and Culture Festival that was held in Nigeria in 1977. And I'll tell you a very pathetic story right now. There's something we call the Festac Head. It is being held in the British Museum, and it is very, very expensive. It's one of the most expensive arts in the world right now. And when we were going to have Festac, we needed some of these artifacts to be the image of Festac 77, and Nigeria was asked to bring £2 million in 1977 to to rent it.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, it wasn't rented to us because it was believed that if it was rented to us, we probably would never return them.
Right.
So some of these arts are all over the world. So we're making a movie. We're in the middle of making a movie to tell the story of the artwork around the artwork in itself. It's a story of espionage. It's a story of love. It's the typical film that would
Right.
appeal to anyone, but the theme is centered around some of these arts and artifacts. That's one of the things we're doing right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Very interesting. I can't wait to see the product from this.
Right.
Yeah, we're doing it gradually and slowly, but so you're going to see that. It's
Yes.
in American cinema someday.
So,
Yes.
how are the people chosen for this rename?
I think well, everything is spiritual. You must
Yeah.
you must want it. You
Yeah.
don't choose people. We don't go in people's emails and tell them, would you like to get an African name? No. People on a regular basis, Black Americans visit Ileife,
Yeah.
Brazilians visit Ileife. They come. Some of them go through the spiritualities of becoming, connecting with where they are from. Like you're just somewhere and you think that no, I'm not from here, and you just think I want to seek my root. And when you seek your root, there are those who would come and just see it and think, okay, fine, that's it, and they go back. And there are those who want to connect a little bit deeper, and there are those who would think, no, this is not the name I should answer. You know, because in the Yoruba culture, the name of a child means a lot.
Right.
If my name is Dotun, it means wealth has been renewed. This is a renewal of my wealth, you know. So, and I think every African child, every name you hear, has a very deep meaning
Right.
that is always often connected to his destiny,
Right.
you know. So, because of this, we're always very careful the kind of names we give to our children, and so if anyone who has lost this opportunity and is able to connect with that story, that what is the meaning of my name, and you cannot find it connecting to the spirit and your spiritual journey, you probably would want to take up a new one. So
Right.
some of these people connect with us and they say, and who else should do that if not the head of all the Yoruba race, the Oni of Ife takes it up to say, okay, fine, we could do that for you. Some
Right.
of them come to Nigeria to get that done, but we're going to have a ceremony for some of them here.
Nice.
That's
And are
really
you guys
nice.
going to be? Is that going to be on video or
Oh, it's going to be on video.
is it something that people can
we're,
watch or
we're
no?
very big on Instagram. My Instagram, you always get the videos of the things we do there. When we're at the palace, we're always filming it and putting up. You know, so you can just look at Taylor Dotun or Dotun Taylor on social media. You'll find me there, and you see
Okay.
that there are videos of what we do. The Oni of Ife is on Instagram. He's got his page. You know, and so we put it on video all the time, and people see what we do.
Okay.
I just can't wait to go to Nigeria.
You're
I'm
very
like,
welcome.
like ready.
You're very welcome. We welcome people all the time.
What are your goals for the future?
The future is very, very big. Yes, the goals for the future is to see a world where we're able to get every Yoruba person and person of Yoruba descent able to understand and identify with where he's from, and where the Yoruba language is going to be taught in most schools in where these people are, so that the Yoruba language and culture can take its place on the lips of those that are the children of Odudua. Because Yoruba language is a very it's full of adjectives. If you hear a noun in Yoruba language, it is created out of an adjective.
Right.
It is we say things as it looks, as it feels, as it resonates.
Right.
Yeah, we don't just make words in simple terms. So when you hear people, that's why it makes music very easily. So
Because
and
everything is a person, place, or thing. Is basically what you're saying.
yeah, and you will see that it must be. It is a language that is formed out of observation.
Right.
So most likely, it is the language developed with people who didn't have language,
Gotcha.
and they have to communicate. So they started having to make words to make communication.
Gotcha.
You know, and it is a common belief that Africans didn't have writing until we took them the alphabets. But there are these things we write in twos. They call them binary today
Yeah.
in the Western education, but that's the kind of writing we have always practiced.
Okay.
So when they talk about the Ifa Olokwa Sorodayo, you see most of these Africans, the right things in the sand and twos, and it is a language that is so put together that you could write a letter to your girlfriend even if she can read it.
Right.
And that's the kind of language they use for computer programming today.
Okay.
And they say they put binary into computer, it becomes alphabets when you press the alphabet. So I think world education is quite universal. I believe that the people who came to Africa learned a lot out of Africa and took it and modernized it, and today
Absolutely.
it's becoming a universal thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you for
That's
that
a lot
lesson.
of education
Yes.
in one little segment right there.
Yes, yes. But he knows it, so I mean, hey.
That's what I do.
Yeah. You guys, we're gonna take a quick break. This is a quick one. We will be right back.
That was interesting.
FishbowlRadioNetwork.com. Jump in.
Hey guys, we are back. We are back, and I want to say thank you so much for our royal co-host today. Thank you
Thank
for
you very
joining
much.
us.
Thank you for having
thank
me.
you.
I'm very excited to be here. I've learned
Yes,
a lot, actually.
Yeah.
thank you, and thank you so much, Mrs. Tiwa. Thank you for allowing this. I do appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay. So, I want to go ahead and ask you all to share and like our video on the Gena Hampton radio show. We will be sharing it to the radio page. I need some followers on that radio page. You guys, we got to get those numbers up, and please share it with your friends and family. And once again, go to the www.fishbowl radio network. So it's www.fbrn.us. Jump in the red bowl, look for the Gena Hampton radio show, and click the donate button. You'd be much appreciated. We need to keep these lights on here. Hit the donate button, okay? We got to keep you all still getting free dinners and gift cards.
Concert tickets.
Yes, we give away a lot
all
of
kinds
things.
of experiences.
Mhm.
And keep in mind it's Father's Day this weekend. So
Oh, my
salute to
goodness.
all the men on their amazing day. You guys are much appreciated.
Yes.
And we just want to let you know that we love you guys. There's a car show on Sunday. It's going to be at Texas Live. It's actually going to be free. There is a Balcones whiskey dinner and bourbon lunch that'll be happening. It's $5 donation, which is going to go towards some very charitable organizations. So definitely go down to Texas Live. It starts at 3:30, and go see the car show if you love cars.
Yes, I want to say happy Father's Day to my father, Enrico Walker. He's been in my life since I was 10 years old, and he has been an example of pure man. You know, I fought him until I was about 18 years old.
Yeah.
You know,
And then you understood.
then I understood, but I think then I woke up and I was just a little bit more mature. You know,
Yeah.
but he has been the example that my sons look up to. You know, and I want to say happy Father's Day to my son's father, Rodney. He's a really good father. And happy Father's Day to you, sir. To you, Chief. Happy
Yeah,
Father's
thank you very
Day.
much.
Happy Father's Day.
I'd want to say R.I.P. to my father. Today is exactly 1 year that I lost him.
Oh,
wow.
sorry to hear
So,
that.
it happened on Father's Day, actually, last year.
Oh.
Yeah, and today the 15th,
Yeah.
16th? No,
14th.
I lost him on the 16th, so it's going to
Okay.
be just two
Yeah, it's
days
gonna be
from now.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I lost him exactly a year ago. So I miss him a lot. That's the man who set
Yeah.
my feet on everything I do. I said he's a
Absolutely.
filmmaker as well. John Taylor, I love you, but God loves you more.
Yes. Amen.
But now I got a son, so he's also doing the same thing I do. He's a great singer. Masakela Taylor. He's in New Jersey.
Really?
If
What?
you
Wait,
listen-
what's his name?
Masakela Taylor.
Really? And my son's name is Mikhail.
Yeah, sure. Cool.
Wow.
Great. So Masakela is in New Jersey, and I love you, son.
Oh,
Well, happy Father's Day to you.
happy Father's Day, everyone.
My father has passed. Also, my biological father has passed. Geno, that's where I get my namesake. He passed. My son is 15. He passed 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, happy Father's Day to everybody out there. We are wrapping up our show, but, so what are your plans now? What's going on? How long will you be in the United States? What's your next move? You know, I need to know. Now
Well,
I'm going to be following you. Like, what's going on?
I got my family here, so I come back here very often.
Okay.
And I'm going to be around till July, but I'm certainly coming back again very, very soon.
Yes.
And we have a lot of black people here who are beginning to appreciate and, of course, love the African culture, the Yoruba culture particularly. And, you know, we have a very thriving film industry in Nigeria called Nollywood. And
Yeah.
apart from representing the Yoruba nation, I represent Nollywood. And Nollywood is getting a very good relationship with Hollywood, you know, in partnership. And the film I'm talking about is a film that takes us through Nigeria, England, Brazil, and America. So the film is bringing me back to America quite often. And we're working on it. We're working on it, and we're planning to make a very big film.
Oh, nice.
We're making a very big film, a film that would truly represent who the Yoruba people are.
Okay.
There's a question I'm answering: who are we?
Right.
Because a lot of Yoruba people around the world seem to be lost. They don't know who we are.
Right.
You go to Nigeria, you hear a lot of Western names. Like I say, our names got meanings. You see, we're trying to tell people, look, when you begin to give names that don't really resonate with the souls and the spirit of who those children are, that's why they're just going to turn around and be something else.
Right.
So you have to give them names. You have to bring them back to the basics. I am the president of an association in Nigeria called the Roots and Heritage Renaissance Culture Initiative. What we do is just about renaissance of culture, taking people back to the basics. We're not
Right.
saying you should return to being archaic.
Right.
We're not saying you should return to not wearing clothes. We're not
Right.
saying you should return to putting tribal marks on the faces of your children or circumcising your girls. No. We're
Right.
saying that you should understand the essence of who you are
Right.
and live out of that space in a contemporary world. That's just
Okay.
it.
Okay. Nice.
Mm. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, I hope you all been paying attention. Because
It's a message. We're preaching it.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, I mean, it's unfortunate, especially with Black Americans, that we don't know our culture.
Right.
You know, we don't know exactly where we're from. We know, most of us are like, no, I'm part Indian. I'm part, look, you African. You know, and so it's just, it's heartbreaking that we don't know where we are
Right.
from.
And a lot of people black people were not properly documented. Horses were documented more. And so
Right.
most people don't even know who their greats are because they don't even know the history of their family or where they stem from. So,
We don't. It's
Yeah.
just sad. It's really sad. And I'm always trying to learn about the culture and the language, but it's just so much. It's like, well, where do I start?
You know,
Right.
You know,
You hear my name and it's Alfred Taylor.
right?
Or Dotun Alfred Taylor. Taylor is my surname. So it tells you that I must be a child of return to Africa.
right, right.
You know, so I must come out of a people who have done a return a long time
Right,
ago.
right,
You
right.
know, so it is. You find what you seek.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
if you really do want to know, you will find it.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think if you know the deepness of where you're from, it's going to be easy for you to look beyond the slavery story. A lot of people are caught and trapped in the took
yeah.
us slaves and the 100 years. We've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
Yes, of course, we know that.
Right.
But
Right,
you
right.
can, there's something
You
beyond
can go beyond that,
you know,
yeah,
something
yeah,
way beyond
absolutely.
that. And it's very beautiful, very bright. And if you put yourself in a beautiful and bright space, your mind will float better.
Flourish.
Flourish. Certainly.
Yes.
There's no space for anger in a mind that wants to develop.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Of course. Well, guys, we are wrapping up our show. What is something that you want all of us to resonate? Give us something, a last boom. Give it to us. I know that voice. Come on, give it to us.
No, maybe not about the voice, but it's about, you know, butterflies. They're beautiful, right?
Right.
I think we come from the generation, we come from a people that add color to the world.
Right.
Africans, when they open their mouth, they make great music. You've been playing fantastic African music right now. Most of the music they play in the United States, when I hear it, it is coming out of the African tunes and African sounds. We're people of percussion, we're people of skills, we're people of tones. You know, we don't sing. When Africans sing, we don't climb scales. We do a lot of pentatonic curves in our
Right,
tones.
right.
So, you know, when it's only in Africa that you can hear a man speaking like this and you're still hearing it at the same time. That's,
Yeah,
they do
yeah.
that in South Africa.
Yeah.
So you would realize that we just have everything.
Right.
Because everybody came out of us anyway. I don't want people to argue with me, but get on the internet, check
Not
it.
on my
know
page. They're
it.
not gonna argue with you.
Look,
Let's argue.
every
I said what I
every
said.
the world started from Africa.
Right.
The history of every man
Yep.
is from
Yeah.
Africa. So the originality of what makes you is there. So
Right.
if you can seek it, you can find it. You would find peace easily. Government. Government came out of Africa.
Yeah.
Because when the Europeans came, they found government I've been talking about government things, the Oni of Ife and all of that. These things have been properly arranged
Right.
long before anybody. No, people didn't teach us nothing actually. I think people took things out of us and they refined it and they call it different names and that is
Right.
what it is.
Absolutely.
I'm not one of those people who think Jesus is black though.
Okay, be quiet now.
I don't think so. I just think that everybody's telling the same story though, and
Yeah.
they give them different names in their own narratives. Yeah, basically.
Well, guys,
Awesome.
we are closing
Thanks,
down.
Mom.
How long do we have, Brittany? Okay. We are closing down, and we want to say thank you so much, Chief,
Thank
for
you.
coming to the show.
Once again, I'll say Eshe Lopo Lopo.
Okay, Eshe Lopo Lopo.
Yeah.
Okay, I
You're
did it
welcome.
right. I did it right. Did I
I
do it
think
right?
that's the boom you're waiting for. Eshe Lopo Lopo.
Okay, I'm scared because you said I said something bad, so I'm just gonna
Yeah,
say
we're just not
Eshe.
gonna have her say
Yeah.
anything naughty.
No,
Say-
nothing naughty.
Yeah.
Okay, now maybe I should pray for you. Obo bala buke koko kola bokuta. Iro kuni won pamada kosi unti o sheyin. I am saying that the stone is always there, the rock would always be there, and the iron is always strong. So
Wow.
every time you try to do what you're doing, you shall be in constant readiness for life.
Thank you.
May God in His infinite mercy grant you with all the desires that you seek.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
So that's Ashe.
Oh my
Ashe.
goodness.
Ashe. Yes, Ashe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ashe. All right, guys. Once again, hit that donating button, and we will catch you next week with the Gena Hampton Show with Tashonda Scott. Let's go see what Friday is talking about.
All right.